Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your host, the White Collar Goon, the creative and artistic manifestation of Angels in Politics. And in Angels in Politics, you must remember that you are the news. Um, I'm just really excited. I'm keen as all gets out to have this conversation with you because it has been some time. I know from your standpoint, it's like, where did you go? But like, for me, it's been over a month since I've gotten to express myself through this medium, through this channel. And I believe that, you know, time away from a certain, whether it's a person, whether it's an entity, whether it's anything that's out there, it makes the heart grow stronger, I guess, or it makes, coming back to whatever it is that you left, that more impactful and powerful. So, yeah. I really don't even have a topic. Normally, I have some things jotted down in my notebook or in my notes on my phone as to what I want to speak to today, but this is a freestyle, I guess. This is just, speaking off the cuff, extemporaneously, or spontaneously, or the whole spontaneity aspect of just having this conversation. Normally, in conversation, it's a two-way street, or with this platform that we have here, it can be more than two. It can be thousands. It can be millions. It can be, right now, I only have one subscriber, so it can just be a two-way street. So right now, like, you can just give me your information, and I guess I can respond to it. Of course, listening is my currency. Somebody says, really, Gabe, because you do a lot of talking. But the truth of the matter is, I talk here so I can listen to your feedback, to your constructive dialogue that you give me. I wouldn't even call it criticism. I would just say, it's just information that you give me. And we'll move forward with that. So, to bring you up to speed, where have I been through the month of February, and now that it's March, mid March, like what was going down? So before I left, I gave you some information as to me, like, going to an ashram here in Virginia. And for those who don't know what an ashram is, it's a spiritual community for yogis, or people who are avid practitioners and doers, and fully who want to fully immerse themselves in not just the physical practice of yoga, but more of the spiritual, mental, holistic ideology and lifestyle of yoga. So yoga isn't something that you do. Yoga is something that you are. Yoga is unison. Yoga is the bridging of the gaps between the conscious and the unconscious, or the permanent and impermanent, or the tangible and intangible. It's whatever the angels in the politics, of course. So the yoga is just that, is that, you know, is that synthesis. It's the synchronicity. It's the way that you can merge or infuse these polarities, and bring it to one, into something that's cohesive, something that's constant, something that is conducive to your path of enlightenment. And wow, it was a mind bending, mind blowing, cerebral experience. I couldn't explain it in a video or two or three videos. I guess, I mean, as time will progress, I will give you tidbits, more than tidbits, of course, but like give you information as to, like, the people I've met, the things that we did, and it was definitely a chapter in my life that, hopefully doesn't end there. Yogaville was phenomenal. I met the Swamis are would be sort of like monks at a monastery. The monks who live there, and they wear the traditional clothing, and they have vows to adhere to as far as like their lifestyle, and they've renounced a lot of things. Nuns at a church, or nuns at the Catholic Church who live on the grounds, who aren't married, who practice very strict principles, or adhere to very strict doctrines. The Swamis are in the same vein as far as the yoga and Hindu, not necessarily being Hindu as far as like the religious aspect, but there's the holistic, you know, way of being and acting and conducting oneself. So the Swamis are the leaders, and they're incredible. They're incredible people, but the Swamis run the things, and they wear the all orange from like head to toe, and they have the scarves, and sometimes they wear all white. So it's powerful. I mean, there's reverence there. I mean, it was it was a multi faith based spiritual community. So I mean, if you didn't believe in anything, that was fine. If you were Christian, if you were Muslim, Islamic, if you were into Sikhism, if you were into Hinduism, Buddhist, if you were Jewish, if you were into the Eastern philosophy like the Taoism, I mean, every branch of religion was there was open for people to come and to meditate, to practice yoga, to eat all vegetarian meals, because eating meat was not isn't in alignment with a lot of the traditional or conventional yoga practices and their history. So that was really good for me, because I mean, I'm a fairly big meat eater. Just growing up, and what was normal to me, and like what I feel like satiates me, and what like I feel like if I didn't have meat for a meal, I was like, that's pretty much not a real meal, or I didn't feel full. And that perspective has shifted. I mean, do I still eat meat? Yeah, but like being there for a month and having breakfast, lunch, and dinner without any meat, like I can't say that I was like waking up in cold sweats, like, where is the beef? Like, where is the steak? Like, where is the, you feel what I'm saying? So I didn't have that. It's funny, I just got a notification on my phone that I'm supposed to have a phone interview at 2:30, which is coming up soon. But it was rescheduled, and the phone interview was supposed to be back at Yogaville. So I applied for a job for a group coordinator position. So clearly I liked it if I wanted to stay. I really wanted to stay more than a month. I wanted to go the full 40 days. I mean, the month was the full program, but I wanted to go 40 days, 40 nights to get up on that number. Like the number 40 is something that you will see continuously in the Bible, or not even just in that religious text, but in Hindu text, and the Judaic text and Islamic text. 40 is a powerful number, and I'm not a numerologist. I'm not into the supreme. Well, I'm not saying I'm not into it. I just don't know much about supreme mathematics. But 40 is a powerful number. Moses and Jesus. Well, Moses were on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights when they fasted, and he encountered the devil during those times when he was fasting. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights with Noah's Ark, and they say something about like the lunar cycle of the moon, which of course is the lunar cycle, that it takes a full 40 days for I guess the full cycle. But more so, they talk about like habits. If you have habits to break, or if there are something that you do habitually, it takes a full lunar cycle, or maybe a full 40 days for an individual to not necessarily just like be done with it, like for the rest of his life, but that is kind of like the standard time period. It will take at least 40 days of a new system, so to speak, or of new habits, or a new way of living, a new way of thinking, a new way of programming, conditioning yourself in order to rid yourself or to renounce those previous ways. So there is some type of there is power in the number 40. I didn't get the number 40. I was only there for 28 days. That's how long the program was. But I went off on that tangent because I planned on coming back to that place and spending more time and further, strengthening and deepening my yoga practice. So for the month, I was doing yoga like twice a day, every day. Sometimes once, but like definitely yoga every single. There was never a day that I didn't do yoga. Which it was called. I mean, it's called Yogaville for a reason. If you're at a place called Yogaville and you're not doing yoga, I think that, not to say that's not an issue. I'm not saying like you're a bad person. It just might be like, I don't know. I did meet individuals who were living at the ashram who I never, just because I didn't see them at the yoga class doesn't mean they weren't doing yoga. So I won't say that. But there were some people who I felt like weren't necessarily there for the yoga aspect. So, you could have found your way to an ashram for a multitude of reasons, a myriad of reasons. I was seeking alignment, and I guess I'm always, speaking about, alignment, purpose, and I mentioned with Angels in Politics we deal with the 4 Ps, with this, which are, taking your personality and aligning that with your passion. So you just like putting your passion with an action. So take your personality, merge that with your passions, positioning yourself, and I kind of make it 4 or 5 Ps, because positioning yourself could also be seen as pivoting yourself, meaning like, hey, I'm comfortable in this ecosystem, this environment, I'm cool like this, but if I have a passion and my personality is saying to me that I need to, grow exponentially, I need to mature, I need to take myself to the next level, then perhaps I need to position myself in a different environment, take myself out of my comfort zone, take a risk, and pivot. Maybe my passion is this, but let me open myself up. Let me be radically open and transparent, and listen to the feedback from others, and try something new. So that's the pivot. Like, do something new. Like, take yourself to a new place. And the last thing is personality, passion, pivoting, positioning, and that should help you or open yourself up to finding your purpose. And purpose is a huge word that I reiterate and I emphasize quite often. But yeah, that goes back to alignment. So I was looking for a spiritual, not necessarily a spiritual awakening. I'm going through my own Kundalini awakening as it is, but like really trying to get more information on that energy, on the Kundalini, on how that creative and powerful and God-like, not God-like, it is God, that Christ consciousness, how that is activated and how it permeates through your vessel, and how that creativity and how that lunar energy aligns itself with the solar energy, and that lunar and solar polarity. I mean, the solar can be up here in the crown, and that lunar is trapped in the bottom of the spine, and it's just that activation once those twin, or I won't call them twins, but once those snakes or those serpents or those energies are activated, they fluctuate and they permeate through your vessel in ways that are difficult to describe into words, but having that control, and through those convulsions, through those kriyas, through those shifts, is how you are like, and not even on some like metaphorical sense or metaphysical sense. I am literally like there's reconstructing, there is a restructuring, there's a recalibration, there is a physical, tangible like shift in my body, and I hear cracks and all these types of things, and that was happening before I got there, and I mean, of course I talked about that, but like, and you've seen that. I mean, a whole lot of things were going on, so I was really like there to see, like, am I the only person like this? Am I the only am I the only person going through this like transformative, rejuvenative, like I don't even know if rejuvenative is a word, but like, am I the only one going through this like massive spiritual, emotional, social, physical, psychological, cognitive, mental, like reprogramming, like change, shift? Am I the only person that's having um, these 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 rushes and bursts of energy that shoot up through through the spine, that goes through the body? Am I the only person that's having these issues with, you know, bodily functionings that are altered drastically? Am I the only person that's getting having these sweats and being extremely hot in one moment and being very cold in the next moment, and shivering and always having to wear a coat, and having my sexual desires, or my sexual energy, my sexual, I would say, pervasiveness, is was it still is, I mean, just in this open hand, I don't know how to describe it, state, because you know, I am so not attached to that. I'm so attached, or I'm getting more attached to a higher level of consciousness, and I believe it's because of the solar plexus, and I believe it's because of the fact that, you know, even at the Integral Yoga facility, or the Integral Yoga Institute, that's what they call it there at the ashram, is they focus more so on the solar plexus, from the heart chakra to the third eye, the crown chakra, but like they don't really go too deep. They actually don't focus on the lower chakras, for, I guess, obvious reasons. You know, like the sacral or sacral, or the sacral chakra with the root chakra, is located below the navel, and it's going to be in the pelvic region, and it's going to be below there. And I believe, you know, a lot of that is your groundedness, that is your stability. With the root chakra, that is your understanding of who you are. And the sacral chakra, which is going to be in the pelvic region, is your sexuality, is your creativity, is your emotions, it's your artistic expressiveness. And for me to be in this angels and political realm, and being into, you know, philanthropy and philosophy, and having these artistic inclinations, I feel like that region has been literally under construction for years. For years now. It's like the lotus tower, the lotus meditation venue that's at Yogaville. If you look up Satchidananda, Yogaville, Virginia, or maybe you just type in Yogaville, Virginia, and look up the Lotus, it's just going to be this huge, it's not even a monument, it's a magnificent, like, incredible, like, piece of architecture. Like, it's mind-blowing. But the pictures are great. The pictures are amazing. But when you get there, it's like everything else that's that grandiose in the world. It's like going to Big Ben in London. I've never been there. It's like going to the Eiffel Tower in Paris. I've never been there. But it's like going to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. I've never been there. In like Cairo, I'm pretty sure. Like, most of these wonders of the world have scaffolding over them. You know, if you go to the church, the Sagrada La Familia in Barcelona, there's scaffolding, and there's work that's going on with all of these huge, worldly, universal, touristic monuments. Because, I mean, I feel like that's a metaphor to our life. You know, we are manifestations, we are creations of God, the master, the universe. The universe has created us specifically for a reason, and we have spiritual gifts, and we have the understanding of the fact that life is about meaningful work and meaningful relationships, and we bridge those gaps, or we have that sense of unity or synchronicity through our spiritual gifts. And with our spiritual gifts, we have to activate them, and we have to become self-realized, self-actualized, and that comes with alignment, and that comes with purpose. And whenever you are finding your purpose, you are going to undergo a transformative deconstructing of the ego, huge renunciation of things of your past that you have been so used to. It's going to happen. And when that does happen, and as you occur and go and undergo that that journey, you're going to be under construction, dude. Like after the Civil War in the United States was like, in shambles due to whatever the case may be. I mean, there was the Reconstruction era. Like when you go to these buildings, like the Lotus Temple, it literally has tarps on it and scaffolding. You can still go in there to pray and meditate, but it's under construction. But that goes to show, it's like anything that's that great, anything that's that grand and powerful and opulent and a manifestation of God will undergo its growing and maturation process. And you have to go into the ashes, you have to go through your breakdown, in order for you to break through. So I'll just stop it right there. God bless. Namaste and namaskar.